And so we're very proud of what we do at OLG and the money that we give back to the people of Ontario. We offer world-class gaming entertainment. We generate a lot of money from it, and that money goes back into the benefits for the people of Ontario.
That's great, but you haven't answered my question.
No, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate your
time. And Mr. Rigby, the profits went down by $16 million.
I appreciate you.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto. Well, folks, I'm in the lobby of the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation's head office in Toronto. And can you believe it? Yet another OLG CEO has been given the boot. His name is Stephen Rigby. He's joining a long line of colleagues since 2007 who have come and gone here under very nefarious circumstances. And wow, when you look at what Stephen Rigby has accomplished in the last 4 years in which he was the CEO here, it is absolutely mind-boggling. For example, he started at a salary of $453,000 a year. That went to $765,000 a year. That's almost a 70% increase in 4 years. Yeah, I know. Did any of you have it that good? As well, when Mr. Rigby was looking for accommodation in Toronto, the taxpayer paid him $56,000 for just 9 months of rental accommodation. It must have been swank digs indeed. Then there was another $20,000 that was spent on flights between Toronto and Ottawa. Obviously, he must be going first class. And then it gets even more bizarre. Naturally, the old office furniture didn't suit His Grace that well. So $4,500 on new office furniture. Then he spent, get a load of this, $3,200 to rent artwork for his office. But here is the most incredible thing of all, especially given that he was a Win Liberal appointee to the OLG. He spent $22,000 to wall off his office so that others here at OLG headquarters couldn't use the kitchen. I mean, it's like he's Marie Antoinette, and he doesn't want the little people, the ham and eggers, the rank and file, to use the same microwave and coffee pot that His Royal Highness uses. And again, this is taxpayer dollars. So anyways, you can see why, obviously, Premier Doug Ford, whose electioneering motto is respect for taxpayer dollars or respect for taxpayers, he obviously had enough, and Mr. Rigby was shown the door. But kind of like Mr. Scheer, it's a long goodbye. Mr. Rigby is hanging around until summer, until his replacement is appointed. And so for the life of me, I don't know why the province would acquiesce to that. I can see why Mr. Rigby would acquiesce to that. $765,000 a year. No one's in a hurry to give up a gig like that. In the meantime, I've been told by reception that Mr. Rigby and his assistant is not available. And I'm going to be waiting on Tony Patanti, he's the spokesman here, to come out and make a statement. Based on previous assignments, Tony really doesn't say a heck of a lot. But hope abounds, and let's see what Mr. Patanti has to say when he comes out. So Stephen Rigby had rented artwork for $3,200, is that correct?
So again, our statement that we provided on Friday from our chair of the board of directors does stand on Stephen's departure, which will happen sometime this summer.
Oh, I understand that, Tony, but I'm just wondering, these are public taxpayer dollars that went into the furnishing of his office, and one of the most incredible things is the fact that he spent something like $22,000 to wall off his office from other employees just so they couldn't use the kitchen. Is that true?
Again, the statement that we provided on Friday from our chair of the board of directors does stand. So I'm sorry I can't add any more Excuse me.
Oh, bless you.
I can't add any more. No corona. I can't add any more to the statement other than what the chair provided as well too. So Stephen is here as the CEO until replacement is found and the transition happens.
Okay.
And that should happen sometime in the summer.
Have you seen this walled-off kitchen? Because I find this absolutely fascinating. I mean, like he's an appointee by the Wynn Liberals, and usually the Liberals are against walls. Like if Donald Trump wants to build them to keep out illegal migrants, but I mean, Tony, he built this wall to keep out people like you. You're a nice guy. Why would he want to do that? Keep Tony Batonti out of the kitchen.
Again, the statement that we provided on Friday from our chair really does stand, and really it does explain what the plans are for the transition of the CEO. Again, we're actively looking for a new CEO. Okay. Stephen will remain until the transition is complete, and his departure should happen sometime in the summer.
Tony, is there
Stephen,
anything?
David, that's all I can provide. Thank you.
No more specific. I won't ask you a specific Stephen Rigby question, but and I will. And thank you for giving me this press release. But is there something about this corporation? I mean, I'm going back to 2007 with Duncan Brown, who turned a blind eye to insider wins and fraud. His replacement, Kelly McDougald, she was shown the door, and the entire board resigned because of questionable expenses. And the list goes on and on and on. Why is it that this organization, which has a state-sanctioned gambling monopoly based on the proviso of social responsibility, why is it that so many senior executives act so irresponsible?
So OLG is a government enterprise of the provincial government, and we generate $8 billion. That's B with billion with a B in revenue, and our net proceeds, which is between $2 billion and $2.5 billion, goes back to provincial priorities. And the government really determines what those provincial priorities are: healthcare, education. And so we're very proud of what we do at OLG and the money that we give back to the people of Ontario. We offer world-class gaming entertainment. We generate a lot of money from it, and that money goes back into the benefits for the people of Ontario.
That's great, but you haven't answered the right question.
No, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate your
time. And Mr. Rigby, the profits went down by $16 million.
I appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you, Tony. Well, folks, as I mentioned, it doesn't look like Mr. Rigby is going to come out anytime soon, and the statement I received from Public Affairs, it's not much of a statement at all. In the last fiscal year, profits to the OLG, and mind you, it's a state-sanctioned gambling monopoly, we're down almost $16 million. So that's $16 million less going into hospitals, going into libraries, going into community centers, but plenty of do-re-mi going into the pocket of Steve Rigby. And look at that severance package, almost $1 million. And I guess it just goes to show, when you work for the OLG in a senior position, you don't have to buy a lottery ticket to hit the jackpot. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, as you know, unlike so many members of the media party, Rebel News doesn't receive a single nickel of government funding, nor would we take it if it were offered. We depend on you to finance our brand of independent journalism. Please visit rebelnews.com/donate. That's rebelnews.com/donate. And if you can, make a donation so that we can continue to deliver the other side of the story.